Good morning, guys. As you can probably see, just a few more people, just a few, decided to show up last night. Just a few. Just a few.
Made it.
100. It's gonna be great.
Yes!
See you guys at March.
Let's do it!
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. We have arrived. We
at your destination.
have arrived.
Now.
March for Life 2017. Well, took much trial, much difficulty, but we finally got the band back together. Notre Dame March for Life at the March for Life. Take a look. No idea how that turned out, but hopefully you can see everything. And now the march is up ahead. I think 2 seconds to monologue and then it'll be all good. Alright. After what seems like 10,000 years of waiting, we are actually marching now. I'll talk more about that later. But yeah, so hey, we're actually marching. March for Life. It's gonna be great. So as it turns out, I was wrong. We weren't late, we were early, and the procession was behind us. So we got cleared out a little, and here's where things stand right now. But yeah, hopefully things get back on track here in just a minute. We'll get back to marching. Alright, so while we're marching, I'd like to introduce you all to the president of Notre Dame, Father John Jenkins, CSC. Father Jenkins, Aiden McDonald, nice to meet you. I'm a freshman at Notre Dame.
Nice to meet you. Are you kind of documenting this part?
Yeah, I've got a YouTube channel dedicated to like Catholic apologetics that I sometimes film when I go on like conferences or retreats or missions.
Is that right?
Yeah.
For you.
Thank you.
Good. And you say you're a freshman?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Thank you. So doing a little while of continuous filming, just to give you an idea of what the march is like. It's been really great so far. We're approaching the final hill now, so I'll just sort of do a sped up section of this, and when we get to the top, I'll turn around, and you can see the length of the crowd that's following in the march here. We're pretty close to the front, actually. So it's amazing. It's just absolutely incredible. So yeah, stay tuned. So here, I'll just try and hold it up as high as possible, see if you guys can see. Hopefully that turns out into a pretty good view, but yeah, the crowds here are amazing. It's just been an incredible experience so far, and I will keep you guys posted in just a minute. I hopefully meet up with a couple of the New Catholic Generation people, so it should be great. Hi everyone, probably a bit of background noise again because there's another, there's like a concert our host parish is putting on tonight. So I'm here again with Our Lady of Guadalupe. She says hi, by the way. Wrapping up the second full day here in DC for the March for Life. Today was the day of the actual march, which was fairly amazing. There were something like 750,000 people there. It was just a wonderful experience. The Vice President talked. I got to see his caravan and limo up close and personal. It was good fun. It was good fun. Primarily what I want to talk about today is a little experience I had towards the beginning of the march that gives important lessons about sort of like modern practices, but also patience. So what Notre Dame did, what the Notre Dame group did, was right after Mass, we took a big group picture outside of St. Agnes, which is where the upperclassmen are staying, and then we took a bus down to the march, and by that point it was like 11:45, like 15 minutes before the speeches were supposed to start, And so I figured, you know, we couldn't get into like the main event area because no one could get into like the main event area where people were speaking. It was packed. But the surrounding areas all had like there's a massive crowd surrounding sort of the gated off area where all the security screening stuff was. So I figured we'd sort of stand in that area and listen to the talks for a while before going on the march. But as it turns out, apparently the Notre Dame Right to Life group's primary goal was getting a group picture on the top hill as quickly as possible. And by as quickly as possible, I mean it took us an hour to get everyone together off the 14 buses we took over there and back together on the hill and getting the pictures taken. Which, at that point, all the talks were finished. So, the first lesson I got from that bit, it was frustrating. I was getting a bit impatient, but it was definitely very frustrating, and sort of, it goes back to this whole stereotype of our generation that we spend all this time just like trying to capture an event digitally. I mean, I am living in a glass house here as I am recorded like half an hour of footage from the event. But so we spend all this time like recording things and trying to capture things digitally and not actually experiencing them. And I mean, sometimes that's okay. It allows people to do things like my YouTube channel, like what New Catholic Generation does, like things what the March for Life organization did and put together some pretty awesome time lapses I was seeing, things like that. A whole bunch of great pictures online of people's signs and experiences, but sometimes that can come back to bite us, and that we get more interested in capturing the moment than actually experiencing it. And I feel like the Notre Dame group struggled with that a little today, because I mean, this was the first time a sitting vice president has ever spoken at the March for Life, or like any sitting like cabinet members. And we didn't really get to experience that because we were wandering through the backside of the stage, like back behind the stage, trying to get a good picture. And it really did take an hour to get everything done, because trying to get anywhere was just ridiculous because there were so many people. It was great. That gets to the other thing, that yes, what we did at the beginning wasn't too great, but my reaction to it probably leaned far too much towards the side of impatience as well. Because, and this was really funny, after the pictures were finished, I figured we'd start, you know, marching in the March for Life, because it seemed like on the main route that people were already walking. And so everyone was a bit impatient. I was particularly a bit impatient. I can't speak for too many other people, anyone else really, aside from myself. But the people were being impatient, I was being impatient, because we weren't really marching. And so eventually, after like another 5 or 10 minutes of like there were people walking in front of us, we jump into the march and get going. And at that point, it's all great. It's absolutely amazing. And we get maybe a block and a half, and this takes probably a solid 20-30 minutes. We get a block and a half up, and we hear these police cars behind us. We're in the middle of this big crowd, as far as you can see ahead of us, as far as you can see behind us, and then there's these police lights behind us, and everyone's moving over to the curbs. And so the Notre Dame group splits off to the curbs, and then up comes the main banner in the Marian procession with the March for Life. We jumped in too early. Everyone was going before the march actually started. And what we'd heard is that a couple other groups saw the Notre Dame group of 700 people going and decided, oh, the march must be starting, we've got to jump in too. So, as it turns out, that impatience was sort of unfounded. And I mean, it gave us the humorous and a little humbling experience as the cop cars pushed all these massive crowds out of the way to make room for the main banner coming through. And then we joined in behind them again, where the small contingent of the Notre Dame group had saved us a bit of space, which was nice. But yeah, so sort of a double lesson to take there, that don't get too involved with capturing a moment on this thing, as I tap my camcorder, that you miss out on the real significance of what's actually going on. But then at the same time, don't really be impatient or frustrated when things don't exactly go to plan, or it seems like an event isn't going how you'd expect it to. Because, you know, God's got a plan, and more often than not, it'll turn out much better than you thought. Which, compared to the first hour, the next 3 or 4 hours of the march were excellent. As I'm sure you probably saw in some of the clips, I got to talk to Father Jenkins on camera, which is really nice. I met up with a couple other people from New Catholic Generation, including David and Joe from the main NCG channel and Franciscan University of Steubenville. They're really great people. If you know my channel and don't know their main NCG channel, how did you get here? I mean, it's great, but how did you get here? Definitely go check them out. I'll post like pictures in this space or over in the description. The New Catholic Generation main channel is amazing. It's the organization that I'm a part of and all these other YouTubers I've been meeting up with are a part of. And they host a main channel on the Franciscan University of Steubenville's campus, and it's really great. So you should go check them out. That was great fun. The march was great fun. There's a lot of hope, I think, between recent politics, which I'm cautiously optimistic about, based on the last couple weeks, between recent politics and just the massive turnout the March for Life has every year. I am very hopeful that we are the pro-life generation that will repeal Roe versus Wade and start to undo some of the evils of abortion that have been done in this country and all over the world. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the last day in DC. We're going to the Basilica of the National Shrine again for a Mass, so that should be really fun. See you on the way out.